to Welt That It Wednesday, guys. We are very excited to be back again this fall. We took a short break over the summer, and we have missed getting to do these awesome interviews. So we're really excited to have Margaret Walker and Sarah Caruth from Fraulein Boots. Lauren has been stalking them online for quite a bit and telling me that she wants them on Welt That It Wednesday. And because we're kicking off our new format where we're going to do it, we're trying different times because, to be honest with you, we just want to open up these calls for, so that people, as many people that can join live, because we've got these awesome women here. And I know there's other women that want to ask y'all questions, but more importantly, today, we are really excited to get to know you and to hear the story behind Fraulein Boots. So maybe if we just start off today with y'all sharing a little bit about who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, sounds good. So the whole, our backgrounds are kind of different. She has had a retail store in the past, and I did kind of sales and marketing in the medical world, and I was in public relations prior to that at Hill and Knowlton in San Francisco. And so we kind of had some shared experience that could lend well, but tell us about the COVID job. Yes. So I lost a job during COVID that was like a medical device sales job. And when I lost it, I was kind of like, okay, now what? My husband was the one that was like, do something fun. You're in your mid 40s. Like, don't do a job you hate. And I did that job. I wasn't passionate about it. It was just a job, And so it was his idea. He was like, you and your sister should do something together. And he said, people are always asking about y'all's boots. We've always worn vintage cowboy boots that we've kind of collected over the years. And, people are always like, where did you get those? And we're like, well, eBay or a garage sale or, a flea market. So he said, y'all should find your own. And we both, Texas girls love the Texas big hair, big style, more French, more fur, more cowboy fell. So I went to dinner with my sister for our day, all three of us. And so I asked her, I said, I've got to ask you something. And she thought it might be for a kidney or like, oh God, I'm so worried. And then she said, cowboy, I think we should start a cowboy boot business. And I was thinking about this yesterday. There were some other ideas kind of in the fashiony realm that we had talked about, and but nothing really. So like when she asked this 30 seconds later, I went, oh my gosh, yes, I love this. This is an idea. There's not enough cute cowboy boots. And just my wheels started turning. I said, let me talk to my friend. I had a friend from 6th grade that was in a business consultant who had her own shoe line at a point, and who also did consulting for big shoe brands, Jimmy Choo and Prada. And Sarah said, definitely, we need Coy's advice. So I called Coy, and Coy said, let me look at this. And, she called me back a couple of days later, and she goes, you know what? She said, this is a lane that very few are in. She said, I think you should do it. I think y'all could really kill it. It sounds like your idea is very unique to have a kind of vintage inspired. And anyway, so we took it from there. So this was a year ago, April. So we've just been at it for a little over a year and a half. And so we really did hit the ground running, and just got after it. We started looking up boot makers, and came across Rios of Mercedes, and they are amazing. They're a family-owned business that have been doing it for like 160 years, like just salt of the earth, nicest people. We did a Zoom with them, and we thought we were interviewing them, and they were definitely interviewing us. Yes, for sure. Like, okay.
Now, are they in Mexico? Are they in Mexico? Is that right?
They're in Mercedes, Texas is where they're based.
Oh, okay.
Have a factory there, and then they have one in Mexico. So we're using the one in Leon.
Okay.
Anyway, so pretty funny. And then we love them. They're amazing. And the quality
very
is
well oiled machine. We are so lucky from, having the boot box to the, distribution.
We send them all the designs, and we go to Mercedes and pick the leathers and bring our designs. And that part is like the most fun and so exciting. And just going back and forth with them on, we bounce our ideas off of them, and they're like, oh, that one might not work as well as you think, so it's great to have someone with that kind of history and that kind of, experience that we don't have.
So. Exactly. One of the things
that made an imprint on me that we knew they were the right people. The guy said, you know, you can have a closet full of cowboy boots. If they're not comfortable, you're not going to wear them.
Right.
So that is one of the things that they themselves on is the comfort.
Yes.
So
that is.
So how did y'all do that? How did you make them comfortable?
Well, that's just
that's
them.
them.
That's all them.
Yeah.
They're just pros and have been doing it for so long, and they use like the old process, and it's, you know, it's not fast fashion by any means. And a lot of times we're chomping at the bit, like, when are they getting here? But we know it's because they take their time, and the quality is why it takes long. So,
yes.
but they're the experts. Really.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So really y'all just had to design what you wanted, and then from there they took it and they knew exactly how to make that work.
And then
So did y'all bring ideas from old boots that you collected over the years, or are y'all artists? I mean, like, how did you?
A lot are inspired from boots that we have worn, or what ones that we've seen, and that we've just, you know, like one has a daisy that there's tons of old daisy boots out there that we just made one that's our own design. And
there's a book, I think it's called The Art of the Cowboy Boot. And it kind of talks about when artistic expression started, you know, it was an art form. So that was really inspiring to us. And I guess too, part of our story is building the brand. And the name is a kind of cool story. We long of different names, and they all kind of were coming out cheesy. I mean, we just kept being like, well, no, that's not right. Like, I mean, just going back and forth, and we just couldn't settle on one. And she called me one day, and she was like bawling, crying, and I was like, oh God, what? And she said, I found the name. And I said, what is it? And she said, Fraulein. And that is an old country song that was our dad's favorite. And he passed away when she was in high school, I was in middle school. And he was like the ultimate cowboy, only wore cowboy boots or running shoes. He was a big runner too. And so in that song, just, you know, it means young German girl. So we're kind of middle-aged and not German, but whatever. It's kind of an homage to the memory of him, and to some things that he thought were important, you know, as far as working, is that, you know, they said at his funeral, you can't say, I wish I'd spent a longer, oh gosh,
more time at the office, you know, and so it's all, you know, ethos, and it's one of those things you're like, he didn't know, but God knew, you know, that he was gonna pass.
Well, and y'all don't know this, but y'all are making me want to cry, because my husband died about 8 years ago, and he only wore running shoes or cowboy boots.
Oh gosh, are you kidding?
And when y'all are saying that, I'm like, yes, and like my nephew has a pair of his boots. He would spend a lot of time in Texas. My brother-in-law has a pair of boots. My brother has some of his boots, and they all wear them all the time. And I see them, and my girls know they're their dad's boots, and they are so well made. You know, they'll last forever. But I mean, when you said that about your dad, I was like, oh, I love that.
I wish I could hug you now.
I feel like maybe they know each other in heaven now.
Her boots scooting up there in heaven together right now.
For sure. Singing Fraulein.
Yeah, it's meant to be. I'm gonna have to invest in a pair of Fraulein boots so I can carry on the tradition with y'all. I love that story, and I love, you know, I mean, like, hearing again, we had an event here in Birmingham, and we did it at a local store, and we asked the store owner to share her story, just kind of like how she got started, and she shared it, and we had all these people afterwards come up and say, you know, like, I'm so much more likely to shop this brand now that I know their story. It's like something about knowing the heart behind like the name and who you are and like why you're doing what you're doing. It's so special. So thank y'all for sharing that. I love that.
Absolutely. We agree.
Yeah. And part of what, you know, we have met so many just wonderful, kind people through this journey and going to Round Top and all the different things. We have like all these new friends that we never would have met, that we never would have connected with if it weren't for this.
It's been so incredibly fulfilling.
Yes.
Heartwarming
and just joy, just so much joy involved in the whole thing. And when we are having a bad day or something is going wrong, we're like, you know what, we make cowboy boots.
Yes.
People smile when they get our boots. And so everything's
stressful.
fine.
It can be stressful. And there's definitely that's what we say, if we'll get a nasty email from someone and, where's my boot or whatever, we'll say, you know what, there's 90%. No, let's go with 97%.
97 for sure.
Or just, they get it and they don't take it, they're kind and wonderful and new friends for sure.
Right, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, how do you, so let's talk about female partnership for a minute. So tell me, like, what is it like for y'all day to day? How did you decide that, like, this was, what kind of parameters did you put around the business from the beginning, if any?
We are best friends and sisters and truly like share a brain. Like sometimes we'll show up somewhere like wearing the exact same dress. So
Yeah.
it is weird, but it's so far so good. Like we're pretty much always on the same page. She handles like social media and a lot of the PR and that, and I do a lot of the back end and dealing with our bookkeeper and all the kind of operational stuff. And that kind of from the beginning, it just kind of was a natural thing. It was like we knew she was good at that. She's got the PR background and writing and all of that. And so it's worked. And we both do a little bit of everything. So it's been
definitely have to wear different hats. We're an LLC. That was immediately we went to the
attorney to get everything set up. And he was like, you never know, even with sisters, things can go south. And I totally get that. And I've seen people go south.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, we're a partnership, 50-50, everything, no matter what.
It's nice too, as far as, we were raised under the same roof. So lots of our core values, as far as not only money, where to spend it, when to spend it, we're very much on the same page.
Right.
It's like when we, oh, we're going to stay in the Holiday Inn Express. It's going to be exciting, but let's go to a really, it's not like, I've thought of that, because if she was like, we're staying at the Ritz, I'd be like, no, we can't afford it, so that's the piece of the puzzle to
right. And we definitely have things that we have to go back and forth on and come to a compromise on things. She's my older sister, so she's always bossed me around, so usually she wins, but just kidding. But when we were starting this, we said, we're not going to do this if we don't have some kind of charity component or some kind of giving back, because that's how we were raised. And it's like, what's the point if you're just doing it for your own checkbook, for your own
immediate? I mean, seriously, think of every company that every person gave a percentage back to a charity. Just what a beautiful place it would be. The world would be. We really, really believe in that.
Right.
So we give a portion of our proceeds back to Farm Aid. Of course, when we've met with some financial people, they're like, "Why are you doing that?"
I
like,
know.
Because we feel passionate about it. So
Farm Aid is it's just a good match for us, because we've grown up on country music, and also just the plight of the farmers in America right now it's hard, and it's hard to keep these family farms alive. And so we went to the concert last year before we really had boots to sell. We had like our samples on our feed, and we're so excited. And it's a really neat organization. So, and it's not everyone knows about it. So it's nice to be able to shed light on that part too. And so it's been fun. We're going next weekend, actually.
Yeah.
And it's in Raleigh, North Carolina this year. So it'll be fun.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's
So fun.
awesome.
Now, will you take your boots?
Well, tell us.
Oh, sorry, we have a little delay. Will you take your boots to the?
We will wear them.
Yeah.
They have an online auction that's a fundraiser for the whole thing. And so we donated a pair of our rose boots. So they'll be auctioned off. And then also Margot Price, who's one of the board members for Farm Aid, has a pair of our rose boots. So
she's one of the entertainers that will be performing.
Yeah.
We got to see her in Boulder. Actually, she was at another fundraiser for Bluebird Music Festival, and we got to see our boots on stage on her. So that was a lifetime. Yes. Really.
Wow. That's really cool. Tell us just really quickly about Farm Aid. I mean, you told us the general, but tell us a little bit more about what they do in case. We love when women are charitable. In fact, our whole November content is going to be about charitable giving, because when women give, they give so well. So I think that is awesome that y'all have a cause that you love. So tell us more.
We did kind of a belated launch party back in May. It was in May, and it was unseasonably hot in Texas. It was over 100 degrees for 5 days in a row when we were getting ready, and it was an outside venue, and we had all these, we kind of did a mini Farm Aid. So, and then we sold.
So we had a concert, basically. We had several bands, and then we had a bunch of vendors that are kind of all our like new camp friends we met in Round Top that we brought, and had
Round Top
food donated from local like farm to table type people in the area. And pretty much everything was donated. So we were able to use our ticket, like the cost of entry to it, to all the money to go straight to Farm Aid. So we raised like $4,000.
I
know.
Is it tax?
Yay! Congratulations.
No, we love talking about money. It's our favorite topic. We love when people normalize talking about money. So that is great. Congratulations.
Thanks. We're new to the whole thing, and we were like, that's like a very, real donation.
Yeah. It felt really good. Farm Aid, they have a hotline like for farmers in need. They do lots of education. I think the focus this year for the Farm Aid is kind of pretty much global warming and climate change and education on what you can do to help that. I can't wait to learn.
Right. But it started in 1982. Don't quote me on that. Early 80s, and it was Willie Nelson and who were the founders? Willie Nelson's the main founder, and some other musicians that thought, hey, we should use our
Dave Matthews.
Well, he's a newer one. He wasn't in 82, but anyway, so they used it as their platform to use their fame for good and do a concert that was actually helping. And it just kind of turned into this organization where they help farmers year round. And it's just really cool what they do, and lots of education,
apprenticeship, like to teach the new generation about farming and to encourage, people to continue to be farmers.
Right. And like she said, a hotline, like if a family farm is in trouble and they need help, like paying a bill or a mortgage or whatever, they can call and figure out how to get help from them. So it's a really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I think I remember back in the day, like seeing some of the concerts, like were they televised or something? Like I feel like I've seen it. I don't know what it is that I'm thinking about. But
both our son, well, she's bringing one of her sons, and I'm bringing my son this year, so they're both real excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, so fun. Well, one of the things I can tell by just like listening to y'all's story and seeing you interact is that y'all have a lot of fun doing this. And I can tell, I changed careers midlife, and I have said, I think a lot of women hesitate to do that because it seems like such a daunting task to just make a change in your mid 40s. But oddly enough, I feel like it has been very life-giving. I mean, there's I have a new drive, a new excitement around what I'm doing. I have two girls one is a senior this year, so will be out of the house, and another one who's 16. So it's like all of a sudden I have a lot more freedom. Has it been like that for y'all too? I mean, it seems like it has.
Totally. There's nothing better than the feeling of waking up and being excited to do what you're going to do.
Right.
It feels almost like, I don't know, it kind of feels like a God-given, like, I don't know, like a dog chases a cat. You know what I mean? Like it feels so good.
It does.
Not to say that there's not sleepless nights, and not to say that we don't get in cat fights and whatever.
Sometimes cry in your Round Top booth behind a bunch of boxes.
Oh, and yeah. And the Round Top is an antiques fair.
Yeah.
And that was that, people come from all over the world, literally,
Yeah.
to,
And it's turned into more than antiques, obviously, and it's boots and fashion and everything you can imagine. And it is like a 17-day kind of circus party of mostly women, and it's just a blast, but it's also like exhausting to be on, every day, and you talking to hundreds a day. So it is a really exhausting experience when you're in your mid-40s.
Yeah, maybe in menopause.
Yeah.
Young people to help us this year, so that will be wonderful.
It was as far as the finances of the company, we had, we kind of baby stepped into things and did some country club shows and pop-ups in stores, and we very slowly established some wholesale accounts. So, we had started with 2 stores in San Antonio. There's a awesome shop called Julian Gold, and then we're in the gift shop Curio at Hotel Emma. And then, we just were trying to not get over our skis as far as, how we were going to sell our inventory.
Right.
And after 5 days in Round Top, we felt very seen that people wanted cuter boots. So we're ready to go back and do it again.
Absolutely. We just popped up last year, 6 days, and sold more in those 6 days than we sold, I think, in all of our pop-ups combined for the year.
Yeah.
So
that's what
awesome.
That's for sure.
Well, we need y'all to come to Birmingham.
We'd love
And Virginia.
That's right.
Virginia is like ready for y'all. We're just here for it. I've already been to the rodeo twice. We have a rodeo right by. I mean, things are happening. Okay, tell us what has surprised you the most in business.
Ooh, that's hard.
What was the question?
What surprised you most in business?
Oh.
Like, is it one pair of boots that you're like, I wasn't sure this design would sell, and it's like selling off the shelves, or I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to.
I was a little flummoxed at that the supply chain did affect us. It definitely did.
And still is.
We kind of were like, oh yeah, this won't matter to us.
It's not going to affect us.
Like the cowboy boot heel, they had a hard time sourcing that. And I think an important lesson that we've learned in business is definitely managing people's expectations, not over promising on, delivery time.
And that's something that, our bootmaker can say, okay, we think they're coming in September, or they should, or they're coming in September. And so then now we're like, okay, we should say we're expecting them in September, but
we've learned that language is very important, and everyone's affected. You can't get a refrigerator in certain sizes. So for the most part, people are
very understanding.
Yeah.
But yes, that is something we've learned. And that, when it's your business, you feel like everything's personal, and you're like, oh, this person hates me. I feel horrible.
Yeah.
And
we're
so
pleasers.
We're big pleasers. We never want to let anyone down. So we're always like, how do we fix this? I'm so sorry. And, and for the most part, everyone understands, but you're going to have those few people that are like, well, I ordered this 6 months ago. And I'm like, we'd be happy to refund you. Like, what can you do? So we're learning to let things kind of roll off our backs a little more than we were at first. Cause I would like cry at first.
I know. My stomach. Oh gosh. If anyone ever wear these to my wedding, we say,
I hope it's in a year.
I'll it to you. And now we just, that was, as far as the business is concerned, we had to do a big reorder. Our numbers went up pretty significantly on,
which is so exciting.
Inventory.
We almost sold out of our first round that we ordered before they got to us. So they were all pre-orders, and then when they got there, we shipped them all out, and this is all we have left. So that was so exciting. That was surprising. I had no idea that it would go that quickly.
Very surprising. That's what
That's
when we
awesome.
Doing a midlife crisis job, and it worked.
Yeah. Hey.
It's working. It's working. Of course, my husband's like, when are you going to pay yourself?
We're like, maybe after Round Top, we'll see where we are.
When should we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's one that we ask ourselves all the time. Well, that it's probably as big of a moneymaker as Fraulein Boots. However, we've talked to women about that all the time, because you want to reward yourself for the hard work. And so oftentimes we'll sit down with clients and we'll look at, okay, seeing like how much do you want in reserve? So, figuring out that number, kind of working towards that so you can build up some cash reserves to keep the doors open if I don't know, if the supply chain really, and you couldn't sell any more boots for a while or whatever it was. And then, paying yourself. I mean, just so that there's something about getting that reward that helps kind of boost morale and energy to keep going. So it's a delicate balance.
It is.
Anecdotally, we had a client come in because we have private clients too through our wealth management practice called Somerset, but this client came in and they just did not like their company. They were like, I've tried to sell this thing for years, blah, blah, blah. Well, turns out we're like, oh, okay, well, how much do you pay yourself? Well, it was half what she was paying all of her employees, so of course she hated it because she wasn't even paying herself. So I think there's definitely a place. Yeah, it was wild. So we're like, okay, first line of business, you are going to take a distribution. Yeah. But I think there is that sort of healthy, a book we love is called Profits First. And I'll put the link in the chat, but it's a great book to kind of like frame why the case for paying yourself, even while you're kind of getting started reasonably. So
I like to hear that. My husband keeps asking that question too.
He's like, when are you gonna make some money? When are you gonna make some money?
That's my to put back in the boots, because that's the main thing is having the inventory. So we are taking, we took a chance on this big reorder, but we know it's gonna be fine. So it's just part of it, the risk and reward. But yes, eventually we will pay ourselves soon.
It's coming. I can feel it. Well, so let's tell everybody how they can find you if they want to order a pair of boots. What's the best way to go about it? Or do you have any other pop-ups coming up?
Well, you can go to FrauleinBoots.com is our website. We have, should we tell them our stores where we are?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do the San Antonio ones. We're coming to Favor the Kind in Crested Butte and Dallas. That's coming soon. We have Hinton in Oxford, Mississippi. We have Hannah E in Savannah. And whoever wants to carry us.
Oh, and a new one in Austin, Caruth and Soul that we just did a pop-up there last night, and it's darling. So so that we're kind of slowly branching out in the wholesale world, which is so fun. And stay tuned. We'll be in more stores soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so if someone's buying their first pair of cowboy boots, because here's my problem with cowboy boots is I don't feel like I have huge calves, but like then I try on cowboy boots and then I'm very humbled actually immediately.
Well, it's surprising because we have our tall boot is the rose boot that's really tall, and so people are always out and they're like, I have a big calf, I don't think I'm going to be able to wear it. I'm like, you'll be surprised. I don't know, the shorty's a good answer too.
I love those. Yeah, I like a shorty boot anyway.
The dimensions of the tall rose boot on the website, and it kind of graduates according to size. You can have stretched by most in the South, at least
boot store or boot
repair will stretch them. We don't have an answer to the athletic calf yet, but we want
or the short boot is a good answer.
Yeah.
But also we've had a lot of really good luck with them fitting well. That people are
people
like
have been
surprised.
so pleased. Yes. So pleased. And
do they order up or they're true size?
They're true
is
to
it like
size.
tennis shoes?
When we first they came a half size big, and so on this next round of inventory we're like, can we just make them true to size? And they're like, yeah, we sure can. We're like, well, let's do that because that would be a lot easier. So now they are true to size. I will say if you have a high arch, sometimes people will go up a size because sometimes it's hard to get in a boot if you have a really high arch. And then if you have a wide foot, because they're just a medium, we don't have any different widths right now. I don't know if we ever will, but
What
maybe.
size do you go up to? I have a
10 and
daughter with a size 12 foot, and she always wants cowboy boots. So I'm like, thus far, we haven't found any cute ones. Yes, she's 6 feet tall. So y'all don't go up that high yet. Okay, that's okay. We'll put in a special order for a large foot. A large foot and a large cat. We're good. That's so fun. Well, we have loved having y'all, and we're so thankful that we got to spend this time with y'all this afternoon. I know I would love if anybody has any questions that they can unmute themselves or ask in the chat down. Does anybody have any questions for Margaret or Sarah? Anybody? We always are looking to get everybody like a little bit more engaged with some conversations, but a lot of times people are shy. Anybody?
Yeah. We're not.
I know, we certainly are not either. But I will say, after having done this many a time, it gets easier every time. So I remember the first time we did Wealth Edit Wednesday, and I think I just sat there and looked at the camera while Lauren did all the talking. But that's come a long way, maybe. But I definitely feel more comfortable doing the interviews. But anyway, well, thank y'all so much for being here, and thank you for sharing your story. We cannot wait to follow along with Fraulein Boots and hopefully get a pair one day soon, especially Lauren over there at the rodeo.
All right.
But thank you so much for
Emily,
being
you
here.
forgot to ask our favorite question.
Ask it. I forgot. It's been too long.
We always ask people because really our whole purpose at the Wealth Edit is normalizing conversations about money. So we just want to know why you said yes to the Wealth Edit, besides my just subtle stalking of you on Instagram.
Yes to everything.
We said yes to everything.
No offense.
I like that.
I know. I think that is a wonderful answer. It's so true.
You will be wondering who is stalking you on TikTok. I watched so many of your videos last night. It was so perfect for my attention span too, because it's like, and nothing. Remember, I love it. So keep doing TikTok.
Now I'm red. Like the recording sign. That's so nice. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Okay, y'all too.
Bye.
Bye.